Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday, July 13th meeting of the Washington Heights Advisory Committee. We are so happy you have joined us today, and we have a full agenda, so we're going to jump right in. I am going to ask staff if they could do our roll call for today.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to do roll call by name of the committee members, and if you'll just, yell out, shout out, whatever, it all works. Ron Sweet.
Present.
Dr. Alicia Johnson. Absent at this time. Marcel Heath.
Present.
Regina Phillips Freeman.
Present.
Shirley McKinney.
Here.
Shanae Settles.
Present.
Eric Vaughn.
Here.
Dennis McKinley.
Here.
Arnice Montgomery.
Here.
Hannah France.
Here.
Damon Brown.
Here.
Cynthia Fleming, absent or not present yet at this time. Sherelle Cotton.
Present.
Lynn Ward Gray.
Present.
Rochelle Hatcher, not here at this time. And Janasia Morris is excused.
Thank you so very much. Next on our agenda is the approval of the agenda. Everyone has that before them. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Oh, you can go for it.
I move that we accept the agenda as printed.
Thank you. It has been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by Shanae Settles and seconded by Hannah Prince. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion has carried unanimously. Next up on our agenda is the citizen comment. And under citizen comment, you have 3 minutes to state your comment related to the agenda items on our agenda for today. And we ask that you state your name and the community of residence. At this time, are there any public comments? We also have a citizen comment section at the end. All right.
Comment.
Hearing none. Yes.
I don't want to go back, but is there any way we approving the minutes? Could we take a vote on how many approved, disapproved, and there was no comments, so we know how many exactly people were in the meeting that was not at hearing so whatsoever?
So you're asking, as we are taking minutes going forward, as we have votes and under citizen comment that is noted,
That
how many might have made a comment, and I believe that's already done, because their name is there, but if there's no one, you want to note it that there's no one
How many
that made a
voted,
comment?
how many voted yes, how many voted no,
Okay.
how many, that would,
So I'm saying unanimous. How do you want to handle that
So
on the minutes?
we do note it in the minutes, so when you ask for voting, you ask for all in favor, then you ask for against. And so if anybody says against, we would note that in the minutes, so it usually says unanimous, if it is unanimous, and then if it's against. If you want to be more thorough, we can take a roll call vote.
Okay. So I will just close the citizen comment. We're moving on to the consent agenda as you're having these comments about the minutes. So everyone who is noted as present when we say unanimous, you can see who was present and who makes up that unanimous. However, if you want to do a roll call vote for every section, we can do a roll call vote. And I guess I would want to kind of hear it from everyone to see if they want to change that up at all. There are some things that we can do as a whole and keep it moving for some of our common agenda items. But if people want to have the roll call vote each time so that they can see who voted yes and who voted no,
Can I be a
They
little more
can do
thorough?
that.
Can I be a little more thorough in this? I'm more or less concerned about the approval of the agenda. By saying that is, if you're gonna approve the agenda, how many people approved it and how many disapproved it? So if anybody, then you got somebody that don't even say nothing. So if you're saying it's approved, you're more or less saying everybody approved it?
yes.
How many approved and how many disapproved it? Is that total in the number of people that are in this meeting right now?
Yes, so I call the vote at the end, and if I didn't hear anyone say nay, I heard everyone say yes. If they didn't say anything, I can't, everybody else have, what do you call it, mask on, so I'm looking at it as if they meant to say yes. If they didn't say either, because there's not an abstain that we asked for, there's no abstain. So if they didn't say no clearly, then everybody has voted yes, and that's unanimous. And so we just note it on the minutes as unanimous. And then you will just count up who is the present in the agenda to identify who those unanimous individuals were.
I'm not trying to be a thorn in nobody's side, but I just want to get a clarification.
Does that help?
No.
So,
Typically on approval of agenda and
Let me see if we got 15 people in the meeting. You asked how many voted for it by saying yes?
all those approved, please say yes. Or
You
aye.
say yes or aye.
Yep.
How many of you know said yes or aye?
If they don't say either, and as I said, I can't catch everybody's
Okay, I'm just
voice,
trying to say, out of
but
the
if they
15,
don't say either, yet they don't say no,
out of
I
the
said.
15, not trying to cut you off, Glenn, but I just want to get a clarification for myself. Out of the 15 people that said yes, how do you come up with that total with the number of people that says no? What I'm trying to get a clarification is, we got 15 people in this meeting, say 6 of them say yes, and then you go ask for the no vote, and you only get 3, that's 9.
Yes.
You only get 9 people out of 15 to vote on this. Where's the other 6? They would go under what? And that should be noted in the meeting, that 6 didn't vote at all.
I'm gonna ask the group how they want to handle that.
That's all I was asking.
Yes. My assumption
Well,
is that
not-
if
not-
no one says no,
It
if
should-
nobody votes no,
It should be a
well,
con.
if it's 1, 2, or 3, then we note their name. So if the 3 voted no, we will note their name, who they were.
Okay, I'm not asking for a no name, I'm just
But-
asking for accountability of the 15 that are in the meeting. We don't even know their names.
Right, so what I'm asking of the group is if you're looking at certain individuals and not everybody saying yes, is what I'm hearing. Is that what you're saying? Not everybody saying yes, yet there's 15 here. So you're trying to figure out for those who didn't say anything, they didn't say no, they didn't say yes, how are you counting the remaining? So I'm gonna ask the group, I'm assuming they just didn't get their yes out because they did not say no. So I'm counting them as yeses. Is that an acceptable assumption for this group? And if there's anybody who wants to say anything,
I think we just need to answer.
yes, we just
Here, just answer the question.
Either yes.
Everybody answer.
But I'm asking for accountability of the 15 people that are in the meeting. It should fall under what? No comment?
If they all answer yes and no one answers no, you have how those 15 people voted. Because they've all answered yes. If they've all answered yes and everybody is committed to answering, and then we have our number.
Let's move on.
The only other thing we can do, if you want to record each person's vote, is to do a roll call vote each time.
That's my point. You got 15 people in the room. You got to be accountable for 15 people.
And we can do that. I just want to know what the group wants to do.
That's all I'm asking.
All right. So that is the question. For every vote,
No, there you go. I'm asking for just approval of the agenda.
only for the approval of the consent agenda or the approval of the agenda for the meeting? Which
Just
one?
approval agenda. That lets you know how many people.
Agenda, there's 2 different agendas. So consent agenda or the approval of the agenda for the meeting?
Approval of agenda for the meeting.
Okay. So you're asking only for that one? if we want to do a roll call vote or a voice vote as a group. Okay. So, that is the question before the group. Do you want to put that in the form of a motion? Just so we know going forward how we're doing that?
I make a motion that we vote on the approval of the agenda.
By roll call?
By roll call.
Okay. Is there a second?
I think we have to add that under new business. I don't know. I mean,
I think you can do it today.
anyway, okay.
Or we could do it.
Well, let's go ahead and see.
We can go ahead and do it. Did I get a second for that? Well, just, the alternates can't vote or make motions or support motions at this time. If you're not hearing a second, then you stick with the voice vote. Okay. Am I hearing that right? Okay.
Okay.
And
So
then we're now,
I just want to make sure that we have it for the minutes. So, Mr.
there was
State,
a motion to have approval of the agenda for the meeting as a voice vote. And there was not a second.
It was a roll call.
yeah.
I mean, a roll call, I'm sorry. Roll call vote. And there wasn't a second. So the motion dies.
Yeah.
Okay. We are now on our consent agenda. And again, we will be doing this by voice vote. Consent agenda, we have the approval of the minutes for May 11th and the approval of the notes for the June 8th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It has been moved by Shanae Settles and Mr. Barr has supported it. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion has carried unanimously. For our next agenda item is the Landbank Authority report.
All right. Okay, we're following up on the last meeting with a couple of items in this report. The first is that we've got into some of our case studies. So at the June meeting, we did not have a quorum. So we did hear case studies presented by Hex Design, who are here again this evening, and the Washington United Methodist Church, who are also here this evening. But in the course of that discussion, what we did is we held a committee of the whole committee meeting, and the folks that were here were able to hear those case studies as the petitioners did come, and they made a recommendation to the full committee. And so that is in your packet, and we'll talk about that a bit more when we get to those case studies. Yes.
Now, I was trying to understand, you said there was another meeting prior to this, that these case studies were discussed at?
Well, we meet every month, so the June meeting was last month on the second Wednesday.
I wasn't at the June?
No,
And so you said this was discussed at the June meeting?
yes,
Okay.
yep. So at that meeting and in the course of those discussions, the question came up about our mission and our vision. So we just included that in the staff report so that everyone on the committee had that information. So that's just here on the slide. Our mission is to support the revitalization of communities within Calhoun County as we do serve the whole county. And then our vision is to be a catalyst for community stabilization by creating equitable and inclusive opportunities through sustainably repurposing challenged properties in our inventory. So we just wanted to make sure that you had a copy of that. And then the other update we have is we did receive 3 applications for the youth member representative, or 3 initial forms of interest. But when we reached back out to those individuals, we did not get the applications back from them. So We did not get a full application packet. So staff is recommending on our last item under new business tonight that we keep that application open through September 30th, that we update our website, make it a little bit more user-friendly for folks to apply, and that will help us capture that return to school period and do a little bit more outreach. I mean, we did some ads, we did a lot of Facebook posts, but we still didn't generate, and because it kind of hit with the end of school, I think folks were moving on to their summer plans. So that'll just give us a little bit more time to get some interest in and get someone who's really interested in being part of this. So we've got that motion on to extend that period because you guys had acted and put that time